Let's get those lineups set for Fantasy Week 13 right now on FFT Express. And 4 games already in the books. So you might be playing catch-up, or you might be playing with a comfortable lead, or maybe neither. But hope Thursday and Friday went well for everybody. I'm Adam Azer with Heath Cummings. And not a ton of news items today, but let's get going here with a couple of players who are on IR. J.K. Dobbins is on IR. He's out at least 4 weeks. Austin Eckler with a concussion. This one surprised me. He's on IR. He's out at least 4 games. They have a bye coming up, so 4 games. But Dobbins with the Falcons today, Eckler with the Titans. Anyone to pick up in these situations?
So I want to make sure Kamani Biddle is rostered. Of course, obviously Gus Edwards. And I want to make sure that Jeremy McNichols is rostered. Because Brian Robinson's dealing with an ankle injury. He's going to play today. But we don't know for sure how effective he's going to be. We've seen McNichols have success when Eckler was out in the past. I think he scored 20 fantasy points without him in week 4.
Yeah, and Vidal is only 22% rostered. Gus Edwards has really struggled to run the football. So maybe they turn to Vidal, maybe they turn to Haskins, though. But, yeah, pick up Kamani Vidal if you can. All right, so why don't we start with Brian Robinson? He is going to play. He has a really bad matchup, but he doesn't have Austin Eckler here. Eckler usually gets, I think, about 3 or 4 targets a game. Do you like Robinson more with Eckler out?
Not really in this game. He's a low-end RB2. I'd rather not start a terrible matchup.
Okay. I don't understand. You know what, Heath? I don't know why you have an echo. It's weird because I don't hear it, but everyone else does. So if you want, you can hop off, and I can do it solo.
Whatever you tell me is better.
Yeah, I guess probably hop off. All right. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. I will give this a shot. Okay, CeeDee Lamb he hurt his shoulder, but he should be fine for next week. That's the good news. But if we look ahead to today's action here, and you can all let me know if I still have an echo or if it was just Heath. I think it's just Heath. Okay, so all right, Cedric Tillman is out for Monday night. So I think that makes Jerry Jeudy a little bit better, although I do think it makes it a little more likely that he's going to see Surtain. But I still think it makes him probably a borderline 2-3 wide receiver. Trevor Lawrence is expected to play. So I think it's a great matchup for Trevor Lawrence. Houston's really been struggling. Jalen Petrie is out now, so they are beat up in the secondary. But I'm not going to start Trevor Lawrence. This is really an Evan Ingram thing, and it's a Brian Thomas Jr. thing. It makes me feel a lot better about Evan Ingram. All right, I think Heath's going to try again. Heath? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm trying again.
Got it? No? It was like a fist pump, and I didn't know if it was celebratory or not. All right, so anyway, I think I'm starting Evan Ingram now. And Brian Thomas Jr., I'm going to start too. I'm a little bit worried about Trevor Lawrence leaving the game because he's not 100%, but it's his left shoulder. But if he takes a big hit, you never know what could happen. I'm not going to play scared, though. I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to just trust Trevor Lawrence to stay in the game and deliver for Brian Thomas Jr., who I basically think is a must-start wide receiver. The big one for me is obviously, and for everyone, is this San Francisco-Buffalo game. And there could be a ton of snow for this game. So check back with us. We're going to have our live stream at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and we'll see what the situation is there. We'll hopefully know a little bit better, but probably not. But it's not looking good. And I don't trust Brock Purdy that much anyway. So we're obviously sitting Brock Purdy. You are not starting Brock Purdy. Who are you starting for the Bills? Let's start with that. James Cook for sure. Josh Allen for sure. I would say Khalil Shakir. I would start him. He probably ahead of Jerry Jeudy. Definitely behind Brian Thomas. But it's not going to be a big game. We're not going to start Dawson Knox or anything like that because Dalton Kincaid is not going to play. Not going to trust Amari Cooper or Keon Coleman. I'm not expecting good pass volume in this game. So it's Allen, it's Cook, and it's Khalil Shakir, I think, is kind of safe. On San Francisco side, McCaffrey is a start. And then with Purdy playing, this is a real toss-up here. I have Juwan Jennings in a few leagues, and I'm probably going to leave him in one league, and I think I'm going to flex Brian Robinson Jr. But I have to think about that. It's a full PPR league. Brian Robinson Jr. is not someone I want to trust in this tough matchup. So Jennings, it's going to be a game time call for me at 1 o'clock between him and Brian Robinson Jr. in a PPR league, but that kind of tells you where I'm at with the 49ers passing game. I'm not super optimistic about it because not only is it going to be snowy, could be 2 to 3 feet of snow, but Trent Williams is out, their left tackle. One thing to note, kind of a sneaky injury update, is that Najee Harris and Jalen Warren have a much better matchup this week than we thought. Sheldon Rankins is out, defensive tackle. With him off the field, the Bengals give up half a yard more per carry to running backs, but also Logan Wilson, their linebacker who plays every single snap, he is likely out. So that makes their run defense a lot worse. Trust Najee and Warren, at your own risk. I don't think they're great starts, but they have a better matchup. Devontae Smith is questionable. He's probably not going to play. Tajay Spears is questionable. He's not really a huge difference maker, but he makes Tony Pollard a little bit worse if he plays. And Breece Hall is expected to play, so you are going to start him. It's a good week for Heath to not be able to be on the show because there aren't a ton of tough calls, in my opinion, just based on the injuries. There aren't a lot of injury updates for you. So we're going to take a quick break here, and I will answer some of your questions when we come back on Fantasy Football Today Express. Okay, let's see. Purdy or Derek Carr? I will go with Derek Carr. I really just do not want to start Brock Purdy. Marvin Harrison Jr. or Darnell Mooney. So this is going to be Darnell Mooney for me. I was looking up some stats on Marvin Harrison Jr. And look, we know what happens, right? Everyone throws on Minnesota. They give up a ton of fantasy points, second most fantasy points to wide receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr. has one catch this year for 0 to 2 air yards. So think about like a wide receiver screen or anything at the line of scrimmage, one catch. He has 8 catches of 0 to 5 air yards. That is basically the lowest among any wide receiver that's a must-start guy that hasn't missed time with injury. So he gets no layups. He gets about 6 targets a game, and I don't trust them to throw to him any more than 6 to 7 times a game. If he gets more than that, it'll probably be great. But I'm going to go with Darnell Mooney over Marvin Harrison Jr. JSN or Garrett Wilson in PPR? Pretty tough question. Jets are a lot better against slot receivers than the last opponent. I think it was the Cardinals that JSN faced. But I'm still going to go with I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson here. I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson. One thing I'm pretty sure he'll get is targets. Will they be good targets? I don't know, but I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson. Hope he bounces back. Khalil Shakir or Brian Thomas Jr.? I'm going to go with Brian Thomas Jr. here. George Pickens or T. Higgins in full PPR? That one is pretty darn close. I will go with George Pickens. James Conner or Marvin Harrison Jr.? Ooh, that's so in full PPR. I don't love James Conner. Yeah, Philadelphia's got a really good run defense. Conner does catch a lot of passes, though. He has 28 targets in his last 7 games. He's coming off an absolutely terrible game. I am gonna say, let's go with James Conner on this one here. That's tough though. Look, I don't have rankings, so it's hard for me to just refer to them. So I apologize for the delays. Nick Chubb or Khalil Shakir? Nick Chubb or Khalil Shakir? I'm going to go with Khalil Shakir. You got Nick Chubb, who basically never catches the ball, and he's got a really tough run defense. This is a bad formula, and this is a PPR league. It's a bad formula for Nick Chubb. Joe Burrow or Jaden Daniels? So Jaden Daniels scored about 20 fantasy points in the 4th quarter last week against Dallas. He's not quite playing well enough for me. I think it's a pretty easy matchup, even though on paper the Titans are really good against quarterbacks. They have lost so many pieces in their secondary, important pieces, and they're one of the worst defenses over the last 5 weeks or so as they've played some really tough teams. So I think both these guys are going to be good, but give me Joe Burrow, and I will read just a few here, just a few more. Khalil Shakir, Devontae Adams. I'm going to go with Devontae Adams. Remember, the thing about Shakir is that most weeks he scores about 12 points. He's always giving you double digits, but it's not an impressive one. And then Jonathan Taylor or James Conner, PPR. Another tough one here because Taylor never catches the ball, but I'm going to go with Taylor. I'm just a little worried about Conner. I know he could have a really good game. I'm thinking he's going to be about the 12-point range. He's so involved in the offense, but Minnesota's run defense is no joke. So I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor here in a better matchup and hope that he scores. And then last one here is Anthony Richardson or Russell Wilson. Yeah, I'm going to take a chance here on Anthony Richardson. I think, like I said on the preview show, I think on Tuesday and on Wednesday, I said he had a lot of opportunities. They missed them against the Lions. I think we kind of saw the Lions defense get exposed a little bit against the Bears too after that. And if those opportunities are there again for Anthony Richardson against a bad New England defense, I think, he'll hit on half of them, and a lot of those are big plays. So give me Richardson over Russell Wilson. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm sorry this probably was not what you expected, but we'll have better advice for you at 11:30 a.m. Eastern when Dave and Heath join me, and we will talk to you then on Fantasy Football Today. Thanks a lot, and good luck in Week 13.